evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. With any luck, there will be zero technical issues tonight, which is always the goal that I seem to fall short of. But there we go. Good evening, Baldy Catz. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm not so bad, mate. I'm doing really, really well, and I'm just stoked that you're here and people can hear us. We're not muted.
Not yet. We're not. I think tonight's going to be a lively one. The four of us have had a brief conversation before going live, and tonight we are trying to find out if there's any good reason to believe in God. So I will hand you over to Catz, and he will quickly take us through the rules and regulations for the evening, and we will kick it straight off.
Yeah, it's going to be fairly straightforward. We've got two people here who I'll give them a chance to introduce themselves in a minute. Once they've introduced themselves, they'll go into the short 7 or 8 minute little opener, and then we'll get straight into the back and forth. And as usual, I'll put some questions in the community poll, and you can put some there, and we'll take your questions at the end of the evening. So for now, I'm going to let Dave, I'll let you introduce yourself, and then I'll pass you over to music analyst. So this isn't your opener. This is just you saying hello, introducing yourself, telling us all who you are. Off you go.
All right. So my name is David. I'm currently studying chemistry at the Technion. It's one of the universities in Israel, and I play rugby. And my team has beaten Conspiracy Catz's team twice in a World Cup final. That is about as much as I have to say.
Thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Do you like rugby, Creaky? Do Wales have a rugby team, mate? Do they?
Everybody in Wales likes rugby, apart from me.
And music analyst. Introduce yourself, mate, and then we'll get into it.
Yes, I'm a Persian in Sweden. I'm a musician, singer, composer, video game composer as of 2 years. You gotta, my English might not be the best because I only spoke in like 2.5 years. So you have to have that in mind. People think I'm stupid just because, my English is not the best. Anyways, so I'm a philosopher, comedian at some times, or maybe many times, but not a comedian that does jokes. I'm just comedian by nature. So yeah, I'm a thinker. I'm a questioner. I question stuff. I'm not a sheep, definitely not a sheep. And I'm in the search for truth. And really these debates, for me, I think they are ridiculous because there is no winner or loser. The only winner is the one that finds truth. Okay. So I'm here to find truth. And that's it.
Oh, fantastic. That's a heck of an introduction. What do you think of those, Creaky?
Yeah, I think both these guys are going to have plenty to say, so I think we should just get straight into it.
I'm looking forward to it. Right, so have we got the famous timer?
No, I broke it.
Yes! Right. That's great, Creaky.
I broke it.
I'll get my
break
stop
that
clock.
shit.
Yeah.
Break it.
I'll get my stop clock, and I'll make sure that we both have the same amount of time. Dave, you lost the toss, unfortunately, behind closed doors. It was quite messy, but that means you've got to go first. And I'll time you. Just let me get the stop clock up. Online stop clock. And when I say go, however long you use, we'll pass over to your opponent. And also, we've not mentioned what your stances are, so maybe you want to open up your stances as well. Off you go.
Sure. Hello, one and all, and thank you to Conspiracy Catz and the Creaky Blinder for hosting us, and thank you to Vince for agreeing to the debate. Today, we're debating if there's any good evidence to believe in God. So that we're not talking past one another, let me state that I find what I find to be good or even acceptable evidence. Something I can see, read, experience, or be told of that supports a given claim, and most importantly, can be verified. The most contentious word in there for me is told. By told, I mean that there's a phenomenon that can be recreated and tested. Being told that someone has had an experience of something extraordinary is not evidence. That is the claim, which needs to be evidence. I do not count philosophical arguments as evidence, as they can be applied to any myriad of claims. If I am unable to refute or rebut a particular philosophical argument, it is merely because I am the dumbest. One last note on philosophical arguments for now. They might be able to get us to deism, but they can in no way get us to theism, because the philosophical arguments work for all proposed deities. many of which are actually exclusive. And by that, clearly that there's no good reason to believe in God. We also need to take the word believe into account. And by believe, I mean, what is the truth value of the claim? It may be that believing in a God might help a person in a variety of manners. It may help them in a time of crisis. It may help them get through many different things in life. It does not mean that there is, in fact, a God. I'm not sure what arguments my opponent will bring forth and want to discuss, but I'll lay out a few of my rejections of commonly proposed lines of reasoning and evidence. There's the anthropic principle. This usually goes along the lines of the universal constants being the way they are, such that they allow human life. Now, it is true to say that we are not certain why those physical constants are what they are, but that is the best and most honest answer that we have so far. To posit that a supernatural deity is fiddling with the knobs is a grandiose claim which there's no evidence. It may be that if some of the constants were different, we would be oxygen-based life form, asking the same questions and wondering what constants would lead to a carbon-based life form. More than that, it is based on how well we seem to be suited for life in this universe. If we just look at Earth, there are many places here that we've had to manipulate our surroundings so that we could live. Even clothing speaks to how broadly Earth actually supports life. I'll forgo the usual puddle analogy, it has been done to death. Then there comes big numbers. By saying that it is unlikely that we would be here through chance, that the odds are so stacked against us, that I don't believe or buy in, because that is usually when people are using that, they are trying to scare or mislead people, or they're confused by what those big numbers mean. And usually when it comes from people or someone in the STEM field, I find that to be very dishonest. Simply put, the universe is vast and rare occurrences happen all the time. The best way would be to look at it like the lotto. The chances of any 6-number combination is just as likely as the next. 1 to 6 is as likely as any other combination. It is only because we are pattern-seeking creatures that we like to attribute a special meaning to clearly identifiable patterns. What would the average person say if they saw the numbers 3, 11, 17, 23, 31, and 47 come up in the lotto? It would look just as random as anything else. Yet for those who study math or have any knowledge of math, those are all prime numbers. They would see a pattern in there. They also like to use time, that there hasn't been enough time for something to have happened. Why is that? Should a thief have to exhaust all combinations on a lock before getting the right combination? Which brings me to abiogenesis, evolution, and the Big Bang. First and foremost, abiogenesis and evolution are at most tangentially connected. Abiogenesis deals with how life arose from non-life. Evolution has to do with the change in genetic compositions in a population over successive generations. Evolution happens. There's still much to be learned about it, but it is a fact. Not to be confused with the theory of natural selection. Evolution is a gradual change. Every new generation is a part of the transition from one species to the next. Abiogenesis, how it happened, we don't know, but that is the best answer, as I've said earlier. It happened roughly 3.7 billion years ago. We don't know how, but it did. The posit that God did it is not an answer, because it does not address the how, or more specifically, by what mechanism. If at any point my opponent begins to say, we don't know, therefore God, that would be an argument from ignorance. Simply saying, I don't understand X scientific theory, therefore it is invalid, is not an argument. A person's lack of knowledge or understanding of a field does not invalidate that field, nor does it negate any of the advances made. I will freely and openly confess that there are great many things I do not understand, but what I will not do is dismiss the answers given by people who have spent their lives working in a particular field, nor are science communicators to be dismissed, so long as they're accurately relaying the consensus of the scientific field that they are presenting to us. By all means, ask questions and be skeptical, but also acknowledge that when the person giving the answer is someone who's working in the field, learn to accept it. The last avenue I would like to explore would be the question that science has great difficulty in answering, the existential question. This is amongst the last places that those who would have us believe in God turn to. What gives life meaning? It is childish and insulting to be told that my life has purpose because the boss said so, and an extraordinarily arrogant claim to think that the universe was created in mind, with me in mind, to achieve some sort of destiny. So then what is the point of life and living? As for me, it can be put in two ways. The first would be to paraphrase the late Hitchens. 1, actions that, while not for the sole purpose of passing on my genes, may result in that unhappy accident, a nice cold beer, and the misery and misfortune of my enemies. Everything else is ancillary. But on a more serious note, I'd like to share an excerpt of the poem by Percy Shelley, Ozymandias. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye might and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. Life, like the poem, is open to each person's interpretation. And with that, I yield my time.
Right, and the time was 6 minutes, 21.51 seconds.
Fantastic.
And we predicted that.
Do I get the rest of the time on my time now, or what? Since he didn't use it. He didn't use all of his time.
Yes. You get 8 minutes. That was the time. That was the time that we said you could have. So you've got 8 minutes.
That's too bad.
Yeah, you can't add his on, I'm afraid. Creaky, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I can't wait to see what young Vincent has got to say in reply to that.
Oh, thank you.
we should say, but Dave, very articulate. Dave, really appreciate that. What I've done on the commute before we go over to Vincent, what I've done on the community poll is I've posted like the little vote for round one. So after Vincent or music analyst has finished speaking, if you go up there, you can vote for who you think has given the best opening statement. But I'll restart my stop clock, and I'm looking forward to this. Vincent, you've got 8 minutes, my friend. Off you go.
All right, thank you. You mentioned evolution. Has any of us, including the scientists, seen evolution in action? Have you seen a frog turn into a gorilla or something? Have you seen the transformation happen? Or do we just have to blindly just trust that they say evolution is real and therefore it is real? I'm just throwing, you don't have to answer that. I'm just throwing out that question in response to your little talk about evolution. And also, the golden ratio, I keep bringing that up all the time. You talked about randomness. The golden ratio, which is pretty much everywhere in nature and even in our vision, in our field of view, a rectangle of a golden ratio, even the piano keys. Oh, shit. Somebody subscribe to my channel. Sorry. Wait. I got this melody sling that is coming on my YouTube. Fuck it. Anyways. The golden ratio is not random, okay? That's some intelligent thought that decided that is going to be in our reality, okay? And Baldy, you said I could call you that. It's more funny if I say Baldy, but I don't mean it. I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm just saying.
You call me Baldy. It's not a problem, but you call me Baldy. Not a problem.
I sent you 2 pictures. One of them was of the golden ratio. Since I can't share it here, maybe you can share it just to display it quickly.
You sent two. Were they the links that you sent just before we started?
Yes, that was 2 links and 2 pictures.
So, well, no, they were videos, Vince, not
not
pictures.
But it was 2 pictures as well. If you check.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check that now.
Thank you.
I'll check that now.
I'll pause your time while they get brought up.
Yes, pause it.
You don't have to feel bad about calling me Baldy, like, because that's what I called my own channel. That's why I'm called. But
yeah, I love people that can have humor about that. Like if you say nosy, I would laugh at that, because I have a big nose. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to laugh at yourself. We need more laughter in life. Seriously, we need to, and also we bond better. Listen, some of these snowflakes of today, they're like, oh, he called him Baldy or he called him nosy. No, that's bonding. If it's done in good intention, if it's done in good intention, it's bonding. And they don't want us bonding. Let me tell you that. There is a plot to destroy humanity. Anyways, Creaky.
Is it the golden ratio proves God PNG?
Yes.
Right, okay. It's coming on the screen now.
Thank you.
I'll restart your time. Off you go.
All right.
Yeah, no, carry on. We started. Carry
on. Picture on? Is the picture on?
The picture's on, but it's on the watch page.
I don't see it on the Zoom. Okay. Okay. If I put the stream on. Okay. So there you can see. You see the piano roll. That is the like the golden ratio is a rectangle. It's a weird thing. It's in a rectangle. So everything, even our eyes, our field of view is a rectangle. Our arms is representing this rectangle with a split in it that is slightly, it's not in the center of the rectangle. It's just, so your arm even has that ratio, the golden ratio, and it's not random. Had it been random, then I would say, yeah, there probably is no creator to this place. But some intelligent thought, decided it should be this equation: 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 1 = 3, 3 + 2 = 5, and on it goes. It's an endless equation thing. And I believe that also is describing God, which is endless, which means God doesn't live under a time frame, like a beginning or an end. Only we do that in this virtual reality video game, super advanced video game created by the creator. Anyways, so God is living in a stream of time. There is no beginning or end. It only created it for us. And we play smart, like, well, who created God? Nobody created God. It ends with God. Nobody, because if something created God, then that would be above God. You know what I'm saying? God cannot have any creator of itself. It is the almightiest thing. Anyways, go to the Creaky, go to the next picture of CERN. Yeah, we're going to go into these scientists. Yeah, we're going to go into these scientists. How much time do I have, Baldy?
You've got 4 minutes to go into the scientists, mate.
Okay, thank you. Do we have that on? Okay. So there you can. No, this is the video. Okay, now perfect. Yes, here we can see. The Shiva. Shiva is a religious thing. It's a god. It's a god of destruction. You have it at CERN. The hydro. What was it called? The thing. I go Biden on you. The thing. Yeah, Hadron Collider. Thank you. The Hadron Collider. Outside there, they got the Shiva statue. And then we have the World Health Organization. They also have that statue in their meetings. Okay? So I find this very interesting. These are the top scientist people. They seem to believe in some shit. Okay? And it happened to be a god of destruction. Who would that be? I would call that would be the devil. And you can see the devil everywhere in the music industry, in movies, everywhere. Our society is becoming more devilish, more degenerate. We have no real morals. We're becoming into ourselves. All of that is the devil shit, okay? I used to be an atheist for my 20s because atheist promotes like, it promotes like, hey, be free, be free. And when you're young, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I don't want anything to stop me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I broke out of that atheist thing, and thank God for that. So I just want to say that. Oh yeah. How many minutes do we have left, Baldy?
2 minutes, mate.
2 minutes. Creaky. The CERN, yes, not the ritual, but in the tunnel or something. There's a tunnel ceremony. Yes, let me see. Yeah, and then go to 4430. 4430. So this is, if it shows up, this is in 2016. They were holding a fucking ceremony, devilish ceremony for CERN, for a tunnel that goes to CERN. It's a sick devilish thing. Okay. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Okay, just maybe you can just skip through without playing it a little bit. Like there's a fucking goat person doing some weird shit and yelling and some devilish shit going on. What's that? That's a game. Oh, that's an ad. Anyways, and also there's a video I sent you where there was a ritual, sacrifice ritual, which the media claims is a prank. But if you watch that video, who knows? Who knows if that is a prank? They're doing that in front of the statue Shiva. Now, I ask you, David, how come these scientists seem to be believing in some form of a god? Because why would they put the Shiva god in the World Health Organization and also outside of CERN.
30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds. Oh, yeah. I just read also that CERN is doing a COVID task force. What the hell does CERN has to do with COVID? Anyways, I yield my time, as they say, or whatever they say.
Thank you, mate. That was very memorable. It's a lot to take in. What do you think, Creaky?
Pass.
I
may or may not be getting a headache.
Right. So I think I'd like to say I've got a clearer picture now, but you've given me a lot to think of. I appreciate that. There is a poll. There is the poll on the community page for you to go and vote. We are now going to go into the back and forth bit. Now, I know that you don't watch much of our stuff, so we did say, like, offer, we just try and keep it as polite as possible, so we can make sure we let each other finish before we interrupt each other. And then if one of you is going on too long, Creaky will drop the hammer, or I'll drop the hammer. We'll just say, shut up for a little bit. We'll give the other guy a talk. So, Dave, you've not said anything for a while. Do you want to start with maybe a question or something like that, and we'll just get the conversation flowing?
Sure. Well, I believe I was asked a question by Vince regarding the dance of the ceremony at CERN, was I not?
If you got a question about that.
No. You asked me a question. Well, how do I explain that? Correct? You asked me, how do I explain that?
Yeah, how do you explain the satanic shit they're doing over there? Yes.
One, I have no evidence that was satanic shit as you claim.
You have to watch it.
To be honest, I'll put it to you this way. If I don't know something, I will very happily admit that I don't know. This is the first I've seen of them having Shiva at their conventions, at their centers. What you will find, though, amongst many, many different scientists in all different fields, is that they will take a inspiration from almost wherever they can. I think it was Oppenheimer, after seeing the result of an atomic blast, was to say that I am Shiva, I'm now the god of death, I am the god of death. So you also find that many of the scientists, they have some sort of interest outside of their field, where they are fairly educated, where they have very little objection to using religious terminology. Even Einstein himself was a bit too loose with the way he used religion. He has often wrote that he does not believe in a personal deity, that is more of a pantheist, I think, if I remember correctly, but he'd often use theistic language, such as God doesn't play dice with the universe. It's just him being metaphorical, it's him being allowing himself some artistic license with his work. That's what I would say.
Okay, let me ask you, why don't you believe in a God? Like, what is your reasons?
Very simply put, everything we have in physics, math, chemistry, biology, it all works without needing to posit a supernatural deity controlling or doing anything. And I think I've turned on the head, why do you believe that there is God? How do you make that jump from no God, or how do you make that jump from you don't understand evolution, or you don't agree with evolution, therefore God? Because that really stood out to me, and I would like to at some point maybe get onto that.
No, because I'm using I'm using it. You probably don't believe in a God because you haven't seen God, right? In a way, if you saw God, if that could be possible, would you then believe God? If you saw God in some way, would you then believe God?
Probably yes. If I had evidence.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, I would.
Okay. I use the same. I can use the same thing then towards evolution. Have we seen that happen? This where?
Yes. Okay. Well, first and foremost, your example that you used was: have we seen? What was it? A frog turn into a gorilla? Was that what you said?
No, I just used something.
Okay,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Have we seen evolution in action happening? Where?
Yes, we have. So evolution, as I read the definition earlier, let me go back to it. It was in my opening. Evolution is the change in genetic composition of population over successive generations. So there was the Lenski experiment with E. coli, where they were put in broth as their food source and their nutrition. And they had an additional source of nutrition if the genetics would allow for it, and that was with seed. And what happened, I forget over how many thousands of generations in their flasks, in their broth, eventually there was one strain out of the 12 strains of bacteria that was placed into the flasks that evolved the capacity to feed off of the vitamin C.
Okay.
Now, another line for evolution would be why I am, from evolution, what evolution says that Homo sapiens came out of Africa. For those of you who can't see me, I am very, very white. Now, the question is, why am I very, very white if Homo sapiens came out of Africa? These people in Africa, they have a very dark skin pigmentation. That has to do with the melanin in the skin. Or I think it's melanin and not melatonin. I get those two confused. Anyway,
that is if you believe the evolution. Maybe they were just created black people, white people, Asian people, Middle Eastern people. Maybe they were just all created at the same time. Or not at the same time, but you know what I'm saying. Created differently.
No, we weren't created differently. No. By no means we were created differently. There was
How do you know that, though? How do you know that?
The fossil records.
You just have to trust these scientist priests. Listen, they're
not priests.
They are priests. Listen, you know why? You know why they are like priests? Because those people that believe so much in science, they are sort of like religious themselves. They just think that they're not, because they think, no, I just believe in science. Well, I'm not saying science is not real. I think it has been hijacked. There are real shit in it, of course. Otherwise, nobody would trust science. So they have to give you real shit. Listen, the biggest lies have truth in them. They have truth at the beginning to catch you in, to wheel you in. And then at the end, they put the lies on. So they need to have real shit that you can see like, hey, that's real. I trust that. But then you get complacent. And then they can fool you with other stuff that you just blindly trust them. I'm saying these people, not all of them, but most of them, I believe they're scientist priests. And they're playing a game on humanity. Listen, I was an atheist, okay? I was an atheist. I did not believe in God and all that. Now I do. Now I can see the devil out there. I can see the devil in different ways. I can see that fucker, okay? And, okay.
One last thing and then go on for it. No, you want to say one last thing and then I'd like to respond before points.
I'm just saying there is a scheme going on. They're fooling us. They're dividing us, making us, separated from each other. Because if we are united, we are super powerful. But they need to divide us in race, gender, religion, whatever you want. They need to divide us. They destroy everything fun about life, everything. And they even go after your freedom. Okay, that's what's happening right now during the Korean. Okay.
So there's a lot to address over there. There's so much to address over there, and not much of it has to do with evidence for a God. But let's try and get back to.
It's all tied together. It's all tied together.
Hang on.
Yes.
Hang on.
Yes.
So, where was I? So Vince, when you've made large claims about scientists lying, and I said in my opening that if you don't understand evolution, that doesn't mean it's not true. And from what you have said and the way you view evolution, you don't understand the field. And my question to you, amongst others, would be, how do you know it's not true? How do you know that they are lying? And more importantly, if you just said you were an atheist, I think what would then be the best course of discussion for this debate, or this discussion would be, what is the one thing, the most important thing that convinced you that there is in fact a God?
There was no one thing, but there was several things. First of all,
so let's go with the strongest.
Yeah, I was
strongest.
Yeah, my strongest at that time was like, I couldn't figure out the whole thing, like, who created God? If God exists, who created God? There must be another God, and there must be another thing created that, on and on it went. I was thinking in that state of mentality. Not until I figured that out for myself. Now, I'm not saying anybody should think how I'm thinking. I'm just expressing what I'm thinking. I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm just here to share whatever the hell I'm thinking, and that's it. It's none of my business what any of you think. It's not my business. I can only take responsibility for what I think. Anyways, so that was one of them. And number two, I was seeing this satanic shit going on in those elite kind of places like music, and the elites seem to be worshiping the devil in some way.
Okay, so
even if you don't believe it, huh?
I don't believe. Do you know what you call people who believe in a literal Satan?
What do you say?
You know what you call people who believe in a literal Satan?
Satanists.
Christians.
Oh yeah, that too. But they don't. Yeah, they believe that it exists, but they don't believe in Satan. Like they don't see.
But that's a huge misunderstanding. First and foremost, there is the Church of Satan, but they don't believe in an actual literal Satan. That is just a response, a tongue-in-cheek response to the Christian movement. And they're far more humanistic than anything else. But going back to what your first point was that the infinite regress, the point of the infinite regress, where who made God, who made that God, who made that God. Usually people want to then say that, well, God has to be the cut-off point, that no one made God. That you're having that's what's called in philosophy as a special pleading fallacy. There's no reason that you can show me that your God is the first cause. What you're arguing for is the first cause, and you have no evidence for that.
Okay, wait. Okay, wait. You believe in the Big Bang, right?
Define belief, because I
don't know. Whatever. Do you think the Big Bang happened? I don't know what to say.
I'm fairly confident that it happened the way physicists have said it happened. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So.
Fairly confident. Yes.
Before.
I could be wrong, and they could be wrong.
Of course, I could be wrong as well. You would be stupid to be 100% on something, huh?
Fantastic. Okay, great.
Yes.
So what's your question about the Big Bang?
Yeah, my question about the Big Bang is, what happened? What do you believe happened before the Big Bang happened? What do you think? What was that place? What was that? Before the explosion happened, what was that place? What would you call that place?
Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
Blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? Are you sitting down?
I'm absolutely sitting down, yes.
I don't know.
Okay, but I am.
Neither do you. But here's the thing, neither do you.
Or I'm very short. Maybe I'm really short. I don't know.
Hang on. So the thing is, I don't know what happened before the Big Bang. But here's the thing, neither do you. Neither does anybody who says they know what happened.
But wait, I'm not saying I know. But we're going to go through this.
What do you...
Yes.
Okay, fine. So what do you think? Anyone making any claim about what happened beforehand is making a claim that they cannot prove.
I'm going to say what I think. I just want to know what you think first.
By all means, go for it.
Before the explosion happened, what would be existing there? Before the explosion. You know what I'm saying? Before the explosion, what would that... What? Huh?
Okay, so when it comes to the Big Bang...
Yes?
If you look at the way the universe is expanding right now, have you heard of the red shift?
Yeah, they say it's expanding, and that's how they figure it out. Yes.
So at some point, they take it back to a singularity where all space, energy, and matter is all in one particular singular point. They call it the singularity.
Yeah.
Now, I believe it's called Planck time, and it's the Planck era. And it is a
how do you know?
Hang on, it's a very, very brief period of time that they have, and any theory that we have, any calculations and math that we have right now, they break down just after Planck time. Say just after, I mean towards us. With era of time, there's the singularity, there's the Planck era, and then after that, that's when we have all our scientific theories, that's where we have all the math that works. Beforehand, no one really knows.
Do you not think it's a pretty arrogant of humanity or these scientists to claim that they know when this reality started? You don't think that's a little bit arrogant? Like, I know when it started. I was there 13.8 billion years ago. I took time. I saw the explosion, and now I'm here. I time traveled now 13 billion years in the future, and I'm telling you about the Big Bang now. How do you really believe that they know that this place started 13.8 billion years ago?
I think I might see where the breakdown's coming. How do you think science is done? How do you think they came to that conclusion?
I don't know. They're probably bullshitting.
No, that's the thing. They're not.
How do you know that? How do you know they're not
cosmic
bullshitting you?
Have you heard of the cosmic microwave background radiation?
No, I don't know about the microwave background radiation. No, of course I don't. Okay. I'm a fucking musician. How the fuck should I know that? Yes.
Well, that's the thing. So again, as I ended off my second last part of my opening, that was to say that it's pretty much if you don't know, then you don't get to say that it is incorrect. Like, for example, you're a musician. You're a musician. There are many things that I have no idea how to play guitar. I have no idea how to compose a score. You do, and I would come to you for advice, and I'll say to you, Vince, how do I create a great score for a play that I'm writing, if I was so inclined to write the play? That being said, if we go to cosmology, and because I've been in those classes where they've talked about the Big Bang, where they've talked about all of these theories, very much went over my head. But what I was able to see is they have spent years and years of their life in the lab, in observatories, poring over textbooks, standing as, I think it was Newton or one of the scientists that said, standing on the shoulders of giants to bring us to where we are today. And when it comes to the term theory and science, let me just read you the theory and science. When scientists talk about a theory, it's a coherent group of propositions formulated to explain a group of facts or phenomena in the natural world and repeatedly confirmed through experiment or observation. This also means that a theory can be overturned. Right now, the theory is the best explanation that we have, but any scientist worth their salt will say to you, we might be wrong, we still don't know everything. Which is why I say that, so to go back to what you originally said, no, scientists are not arrogant to say that they know anything. But they have a lot of evidence to back up what they say.
I still think it's arrogant to think that they know exactly when life started. But anyways, wait. Okay, so when you die, when you die, what happens in your opinion? What happens?
What, specifically me?
Yeah, exactly you. You're the only one. Yes. When you die, only when you die, only when you die, what happens?
Well,
before he pulls the trigger.
What was that?
Just say I've got a feeling he's about to pull a trigger when the way he said that. Sorry for interrupting. Go on, Dave. Carry on.
I mean, I did put my gun in my safe for the debate.
All right. So when you die,
when I die, the sharks will eat my body.
What do you say?
Because sharks will eat my body.
Sharks will eat your body. Okay,
yes,
but where will you? Where will your consciousness go?
I have no idea. It's nothing. So far, it is nothing. So, I will be as I was in 1838.
1838.
My consciousness will be the same place it was in 1838. Or in 1945.
Will you still be conscious?
No, like I'll be dead. Well,
okay.
What we can see from now is consciousness is an emergent property of your neurons firing in your mind.
Yeah. Wait. I get that.
Okay.
So you mean this is the only time you've been alive?
Which makes it very important that I use it.
Okay. So you just came here. I don't know how old you are. But you just came through this little timeline, and that's it, and then you're done, right?
Do you have any evidence that there's correct? Do you have any evidence that there's an afterlife?
Well, I'm gonna give you some stuff.
Go for it.
Okay. Why don't you think you haven't lived before? Why?
There's no reason, because there's no reason to think that.
Oh, but there's another thing you could say. You could say it's because I don't remember living past lives or past realities, right?
If I don't remember, it's...
You don't remember, right?
Between me not remembering something and something not having happened. What is the functional difference?
I don't know. I'm just saying, do you remember previous lives?
I don't agree with that premise.
But
And
you
this
could
is going to
still
be a very hard point for us.
no,
because I
you play with it.
agree with
Listen,
your
play with it a little bit. Because if
No, I'm not going to play with it.
why not? Come on, man. Don't be
There are
boring.
other things I prefer
Don't
to
be
play with.
boring, man. Play with it
There are
a
other
little bit. You don't have to believe it.
Trust me, the things I would rather be playing with are much more entertaining than that.
Well, rugby. You want to play rugby? What do you want to play? Huh?
I would love to. As soon as this pandemic is over, I'm looking forward to the season.
Listen,
the whole
the
premise
pandemic
of that-
won't be over until we speak up. They want to enslave humanity. They're doing it. New World Order.
That is a
Anyway.
completely different discussion, which
Yes, I know it is, but it is happening. It's round the corner. Okay, but wait. Let me
here's
just say.
the thing, Vince. Everything that I have said is backed up by science and the scientific literature.
Yeah,
And
but
when it
those
comes to
scientists,
memories that I don't
those
have,
scientists are
I
doing some
don't
sick, weird shit, man. Anyways, not all of
So
them.
are Christians.
No, they're not.
So are Jews. You know what? I don't think it's fair to say are Christians. So are Jews.
Listen, wait. I could say I don't remember past life. Therefore, I did not exist before this. But do you remember 3 weeks ago, Thursday, 3 weeks ago?
I'm sure if I looked at the calendar, I'd find what was happening, but it doesn't change the fact.
Yeah, you have
what
to
you're
ask
doing
your
is
calendar, right?
Vince, what you're going for is solipsism over here. The problem of hard solipsism. How do I know that we were not created 3 minutes ago with all the memories that we have right now?
Well, you can just go by what you're experiencing right now, and it doesn't seem like it was 3 minutes ago. But yeah, maybe there's a small probability. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, if you did remember that you lived 100,000 times before, then you would believe it, right? If you remembered like all of your previous lives, if you remembered them, you would believe in that. Then.
Yes.
But we don't remember it, therefore we don't think it's real. Okay. Wait. So you just
that word "if" it's very loose. It doesn't mean anything.
Well, then I can say everything to
the lotto. I play the lotto. I don't, so I'm not going to play the lotto. If can mean a lot of things.
Okay, so you live only one time, and then you die.
Yes.
You die. Your consciousness evaporates, right? You just evaporate into nothing, right?
That's what we know so far. Yes.
No, that's what you know. That's what you know. I don't even agree with this, but that's
okay.
I'm not in that we. I just have to say that.
Okay.
Disclaimer.
That's what the evidence says so far.
Yeah, that's a disclaimer. I'm not in that we. Anyways, so that's what you guys know. Okay. Yeah, that's what you guys know. So if you evaporate into nothingness, how do you know that happened? How will you know?
What's your point?
Yeah, you won't know.
What is your point?
My point is, if you can't even be able to know that you evaporated, then to me, that says we probably are endless souls having different experiences. I'm Vince right now, but in the next life, I might be Sarah.
Let's go back.
Yes.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, I didn't hear you said souls and something about evaporating.
Yes, I said, if your soul would evaporate after this one lifetime, how would you ever be aware that happened? How would you be aware, like, oh shit, I have evaporated now, my soul is not here anymore? You wouldn't, because it's not possible. You need to be conscious to realize, oh shit, I evaporated. But that's not even possible. So to me, that speaks to the thing that the soul is endless. We're just having an experience right here. And then when this is over, it could be just like a dream. You know how a dream fades away when you get out of it, right? It fades away. So who knows, when you die from this life, it could be like a dream just fading away. And then you go on to the next thing you're going to do. You don't remember it. You don't remember it. You know?
Vince, how does all of this prove God? Like I'm
saying how it proves God is that I'm saying your soul is eternal. Your soul will never die. Your body and that's from the things I have figured out for myself. Listen. I can never convince any of you of this. We're all in our own boat. Okay, we're all on our own journey. So we all have to figure this shit out for ourselves. no one can change you except yourself. No one can make you believe things except yourself. All we can do is throw clues to each other, or advice or clues, or what we found, or whatever. But the rest is up to each and every one of us, and that's how it's supposed to be. We're all having our own free will individually, and that's also another thing, free will. Many people don't believe in the free will. Anyways, we're not going into that. Where were we? Yes. Yes. So I believe, since you can't be aware that you evaporated, your soul or consciousness evaporated, to me that speaks more that we're eternal. We're just having a brief little experience here, and then we go on to the next. And also the video game development has been a great thing to compare to the VR headsets. When you put a VR headset on, yeah, the graphic sucks, but your brain still thinks that you are in that virtual world. Okay, so that gives you a clue that this reality is a super advanced virtual reality created by a creator.
No.
Yes, it does. It does, dude.
It means that your brain can be easily fooled, which is why you need a scientific method to come to an accurate conclusion.
Whatever you want to call it, fooled or whatever, you put this shit on, your brain thinks that's your reality, even though it's ugly. The graphics is ugly. But if they perfect the graphics and fix all of the senses into that VR reality, if it's perfect like our reality, you won't know the difference. You won't know the difference.
Which means, Vince, but that's why we have to have the scientific method, and that's why we have to have peer review in the scientific world, because we know that we can be fooled. We know that we have some form of confirmation bias, and that's why it's not someone publishes a paper on cosmology, they don't win the Nobel Prize that year. It will take often years and years before their paper is actually proven to be practically true. That goes from being theory to actually being an actual thing that we've discovered. For example, the gravitational waves. The gravitational waves that Einstein proposed and theorized about, I think it's over 100 years ago. We only discovered them, someone helped me out, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
May I ask you, since you mention Einstein all the time, how come nobody really talks about Tesla that much?
Bad publicity.
Some people say Tesla is the real Einstein, but they've, what do you say? Fuck is the word I'm looking for. They've what do you say?
Current? Huh? Oh, the AC current. Oh, sorry, Tesla's AC.
They've not
played him down.
Yeah, they played him down. Yeah. And they brought up Einstein. But
no, Edison.
Huh?
They brought up Edison, not Einstein.
Okay. I mean, what they're talking all the time. You hear Einstein. You never hear Tesla that much. Just at the recent times, you start to hear a little bit about Tesla. Maybe that's because of the internet. People are spreading stuff about Tesla on the internet. But anyways, listen to this. I believe now there is a devil, and I don't know. I think it's non-physical. Okay, and we're living in a dualistic reality. So that means inside of us, we can be going good or we can go bad. Okay. And with our free will, we choose. Like, it's very easy to go bad. It's very easy to go bad. Like being an asshole is super easy. Super easy. I can just curse out everybody and be a super asshole. Super easy. I can just destroy everything and burn down the houses and everything. I can be a super villain in about an hour. I can just stop this stream and be a super villain right now, and you will hear on the news. Music analysts burn down the whole Sweden. And I was saying, super easy. Not the whole.
Why don't you do that? My question is, why don't you do that?
Yes, exactly. With my free will. With my free will. Why
don't you do that?
Yeah, I don't like that shit because it's stupid. It's not right. It's not right. You know what I'm saying? It's evil. You know what I'm saying? I want to build. I want to spread laughter. I want to spread intelligence. I know many people gonna laugh at me. He wanted to spread intelligence. Listen to that clown. Listen, I know how you guys work. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the viewers. Yeah. Anyways, yes, I want to spread knowledge. I want to spread open-mindedness. Questioning is the most important one. Questioning. There's no harm in questioning. Absolutely not. There is no harm, because if you question, you just do that to be sure, so that you don't get fooled or fucked over. You know what I'm saying? You need to question things.
Okay, it's good. So I'll put it to you this way. So as I mentioned at the beginning, studying chemistry, among some of the courses that we had to take, physics is one of them. So part of physics, there's gravity. If I don't understand something that has to do with gravity, I go to my professor and I say, can you help me out? There's some things I'm not understanding. And he helps me, usually. If he's nice and he's in a good mood, he'll help me understand how to work with it and how it's an actual force.
It is a force.
Huh?
Yes.
It is to be reckoned with.
It is a force, but I don't think it's. I don't think it's the force they've been saying it is, in the way they're. Yes. And now everybody will say, "Oh, he's a flat earther." I know the tricks. I know the tricks.
As soon as Vince, hang on, you're getting away from it.
Okay.
The point is that if you want to spread intelligence, the reason I go to my physics professor to help out with whatever it may be, there's a gravity, Coriolis, whatever it may be, I go to a physicist. I don't go to a car mechanic. I don't go to a plumber. It's the same as if I have a leak in my house from a pipe, I go to a plumber. I don't go to a physicist.
Yes.
So when it comes to spreading intelligence, and I agree with you, we should ask questions. We shouldn't, because a person says something, it does not make it true. By all means, go out and test it for yourself. But that also means you have to know how to perform that experiment for yourself. And you have to know how to prepare for that.
I agree. But let me tell you this, another thing that Christians say, that we're created in the image of God. Okay? I never understood what that meant, really. Now I think I do. You know what that is? We have our right side of our brain. Okay? That is the creative side of our brain, you know, the artistic side. Creative is like creating, right? Creating. You're a creator. That side of you is a creator. The other side is more like a calculating robot. And I believe we're becoming more and more left brain, like robots, and want to put everybody in labels, and you can't say this, you can't say that, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? We need to get back. We need to balance it, at least. We need to get the right side of us turned on. What I was trying to say is, I get that now, what the Christians say, that we're image of God, because that is the right side, the creative side that creates things from nothing, just like God. It's like a mirror of God. We're like mini gods, if you want to say. We can never be like God, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like I have two things to say to that.
Yes.
One, if we're talking about God, the person or the deity that created waterfalls, mountains, beautiful vistas, rainbows and sunshine.
Yes.
If he can do that, look at the mirror and tell me if you think there is a God that created us.
What do you mean? If I can see those rivers and everything?
No, yeah, you created such amazing beauty.
Yes.
Take a look in the mirror.
Yes.
For anyone who says this, take a look in the mirror and ask yourself if that God does in fact exist, and how it is that you are here. Not specifically you, but what kind of an off day was he having when he created you? But seriously, Vince, how did he do this? So this is where I'd want to hear some positive proof from you. How did God create the first Homo sapiens?
Listen, there is no trouble for God to create anything, because listen,
correct,
if you
agree with you, but
how you're trying to understand the Almighty One. Okay, let me just explain. None of us, at least right here, will ever be able to understand how the Creator works. You know why? Because there is nobody that can understand the Creator but the Creator itself. That's it. The Creator is on one level, and then everything else is below it. That's just how it is. It's the Almighty One. There is nothing beyond it. So you can never understand it. It's like It's like the video game characters trying to understand the programmers outside of it. It's not possible. They can't. They don't have the tools. They don't have the ability to understand. They're on different dimensions. The video game people, the video game people are in this dimension, and the programmers are outside of it. The same goes with God. God is like the programmer outside in another dimension, or whatever you want to call it, another realm, and we are in another realm. We can never do that. The only thing we can do is try to look for clues and make up our own mind. Listen, I think this is a test. This is a test. This shit is a test. This is a dualistic world where you can go evil or you can go good, and you are the ones that gonna decide how it's gonna go. You can say that if you pass the test, then you go the way of God, the good God. But if you fail the test, you go the way of the negative force, which is the devil. But I would still say that the devil and the God are two faces of this one God in this reality. There is a bad side of God and there is a good side of God. Both are God, because God has created everything, the pain and the pleasure. And you are telling God with your free will and with your actions what side you want to belong to. That's really how it works.
Can I jump in just for a second, guys? Because there's a common theme forming in the side chat, and we'll get to that in a second.
Yes. All right.
But Dave's question was, can you explain how God created the first human beings? Now, to be fair, when you asked Dave if he could explain the Big Bang, he did his best to get as far as he could. And then when he couldn't go any further, he was man enough to say, I don't know. So can we return the courtesy? I will ask again.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Can you explain how God created the first human beings? And don't go off on a massive tangent talking about they and them.
Didn't
Just
I say
answer the question.
Yes. Didn't I say that I didn't know because we cannot understand God? Didn't I say that?
Yeah, but that sounds like a wriggle. That sounds like a wriggle. Dave at least offered an explanation as far as he could take it, but you just instantly went off on a tangent, and that's not the satisfactory answer.
Anything I would say would be a lie. If I say I know how humanity got created, that would be a lie because I don't.
I completely agree. So onto the theme forming in the side chat, which is you make a lot of references to they. Are you able to at least explain to us who they are? Because if I'm understanding what you said at the beginning and in our little chat before we went live, you yourself used to be an atheist.
Yes.
So were you once they and now you're them, or am I misunderstanding your definition of they?
Well, it depends.
Because you're making a lot of references to they without clarifying who they are.
Well,
are they anybody who isn't believing the same as you, or is there a particular group of people that we should all consider to be they?
Usually when I refer to they, I would say the elite that is running this world, and they are far from good. So I refer to the elite that is running this world, and they're running it right now. They're telling us what we can do and cannot do. We have to have
so anybody in a position of power or authority is they?
No.
You could say, you could.
I'd like to really jump in because I think when you get into asking who they are and trying to find, you're getting into conspiracy theory territory.
Yeah, of course. But listen, if really I said to you, wait.
Creaky Blinder jumping in and trying to clarify, but if it's going to go on a tangent of they equals conspiracy theory, I'd rather not go that way.
Yeah, but listen, if I said to you 10 months ago that there will be a shutdown because of a virus or whatever, and the whole world would shut down and economies would crash and this and that, and you gotta wear a mask and you gotta social distancing and they were tracing you with fucking I don't know what, you would have said you're a conspiracy nut. Dispute that.
I said to you.
All of you dispute that, because if anybody said to you 10 months ago, hey, soon we will have a shutdown, the whole world will shut down, and all of the things that has happened now, you all would have said you're a conspiracy tinfoil hat nut. Would you not? Okay. And if you wouldn't, I want to hear the arguments for that. Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to.
Yes, right? You would have thought I was beyond insane even. You would have said, listen, I've heard crazy conspiracies, but this one takes the cake. You would have said, this one takes the cake. You're absolutely insane. Yes. But here we are, though. Here we are. And now it's like normal. It's like, of course there's a shutdown. Of course you have a mask. Of course there's tracing. Of course there's Bill Gates vaccines. Yeah.
Jump in. I'd love to jump in and try and get us slightly back on track off that.
Yes, but it's all tied in. Wait. I'm going.
No. You've spoken for
it's all tied.
Yeah. Can I just cut in for a second? And I'm getting a little bit confused of where the link is with that.
Yes.
If I just pass to Dave just to ask a specific question, and then we'll go with that. What is your specific question you're trying to ask there, Dave?
That I'm trying to ask or answer.
I've got lost now. Were you answering or asking?
No, I wanted to throw in my own 2 cents. I wanted to say something and try and get us back on track with that after that.
Well, it's all connected. Let me tell you that right now.
Okay.
Okay, so
go on, make your point.
And this is specifically for to your hosts. If someone had said when is it? At 11:05 on the 11th of November 1918, that there would be another great war, that Germany would start, they would have called that person mad and insane. They would have said that the Versailles Treaty was completely fair and just, that it would lead to a lasting peace in Europe. Yet we all know that on the 1st of September 1939, that proved to be false. So making bold claims about the future, it's not something that we should be doing.
No, I'm just saying.
Hang on, to get back onto track. With what you had said about you said that you don't know, and then you went off on that whole tangent. I wanted to let you go for as long as you needed. Now, when it comes to how humans got here, evolution is a great answer to that, because evolution is a very, very gradual process. If you look at the law of phylogeny, where I don't like using this word because it's being so abused, but you'll find that I think the best way to phrase it would be that nothing can ever outgrow its parent category. For example, we are all eukaryotes, and anything more than that would all be eukaryotes. Anything that comes from Homo sapiens or chimpanzees or bonobos would continue to be mammals. Now, when you said you don't know and you try to posit that God is the ultimate explanation, you can stop all inquiry and all advances. The reason why that we've been able to make so many advances is because we have not been content to say, because God did it, which is why we have gone on to invent aeroplanes, flights, submarines. There are many inventions that we have today because people were not happy with the explanation that God did it, and that's the end of it. They could have, and they probably did, especially when the Renaissance and Enlightenment period said that, okay, God did X, Y, and Z, but let us figure out how and by what mechanisms God has done so. And so far, all that we have found, and by we, I'm talking about people in the STEM fields, and even people outside, all that we have found is that everything can be explained through natural phenomenon. And when we don't know what that next step is, we are humble enough to say, we don't know, but we would like to find out. Or to make it more personal, I don't know, but I want to find out.
Yeah, but the thing is, again, I'm saying I don't think we will ever figure that out about what created this place.
That's a huge problem, because if you say, I don't think that man will ever be able to fly, and by fly I mean invent an aeroplane.
Yeah.
Think of what happened the week beforehand. People were saying that the Wright brothers could not do it, yet they proved them wrong.
I see what you're saying, but it's still not the same, because flying is a thing that it goes under in this reality. It's a thing you can figure out in this reality, but to figure out how this reality got created from its core, I don't think we will ever get to that point. Maybe when we die and we return to the source, maybe then, but not in this reality. We will get to understand how this got created. I think we can understand a lot of things, a lot of inventions, a lot of crazy stuff. Just look at society today. The technology today is crazy. If I said it to you in the 70s, if I was born there, then you would have said, "Get the fuck out of here. That's not real." But here we are. We have this crazy technology. We will find out a lot of things, but we will never get to how reality got created, because it's not. We're not supposed to, and we don't even have what it requires for that. Only God knows, and that's it. That's it. And also,
Vince,
okay.
How does that prove that there's a God? How does that show that there's a God?
How? Listen. If you want that, listen. I've said this before. None of us can really prove 100%. But I'm saying, like, for example, look at the golden ratio. That is a proof of God. That is a proof of God, because it's not random.
How?
It's not random.
So
that's why. It's not random. It is.
How's it not random?
Huh?
How is it not random?
Because yes, because
before you try and go on Spain, just may I ask what math courses you've taken, or if you've studied any particular field of math?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna have a lot of doubt of what you have to say.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just have to look at the. No. Wait. That's your left brain talking. Listen, wait. You just have to look at. You just have to look at the equation, which is it starts with 1 plus 1, it becomes 2, and then it takes the 1 before it, like 2 plus 1 becomes 3. Then it takes the 2 before the 3, like 3 plus 2 becomes 5.
Yeah, I think we know how the
that is how it's going, and it's not random. It's not like 1 plus 8 becomes 13, or 13 minus 2. No, it's following a certain.
Can I just interrupt here for a second? Sorry, guys. Guys, to interrupt. Clive Wells in the chat earlier on. I don't know if he's still there. I think he might be. But when you did your opening, Vincent, and you mentioned the what was it you've just called it? I've forgotten it. The golden rectangle or something.
Yes, the golden ratio rectangle.
Right, there we go. And you talking about this. I caught a post that he posted in the chat, and it was really, really good. And he's a clever guy, and he knows this really well. I'm just wondering if he is listening, whether he could answer a bit of an SOS and just for the rest of us that don't know much about it, if he could maybe just type in a chat and tell us what it's, type in a comment and tell us what it is again. So that's just a plea to him. The golden ratio.
Okay.
He posted something in the chat because he's a very clever guy, Clive. And
you want him to repost it? You want it to repost?
Yeah, to repost it so the rest of us can have a look at it who are a bit confused. Okay. Right. Anyway, sorry. Back to you guys.
Yes. Yes. So what I'm saying is, it's not a random thing. It is set like that. It is set like 1 plus 1, 2. You know what I said. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Yeah. It is not random, which means there is something that has decided for it to be just like that and nothing else. It has decided that is the pattern, the mathematical pattern, or whatever you want to call it. That is how it should go. And it creates these perfect symmetrical things. I don't remember what it.
Then, do you know what another name for that series is called, or sequence? Do you know what another name for that sequence is called?
Fibonacci.
There we go.
Yes.
But what you have is you have a human, someone who we know existed, who was able to use math, and math is just a way for us to explain how things work. If I threw a ball, hang on. If I threw a ball, it would create an arc. And the way I would explain that arc, I'd have to use math. But no matter what I would use to explain that, or what symbols I would use to explain that, it would still make that arc independent of the symbols I was using to convey that to you. The symbols that I'm talking about now would be not Roman numerals, Arabic numerals. That's how I'll be conveying it to you. And I'll be using cosine, I'll be using sinus, I'll be using trigonometry as well to explain the arc of a ball that I've just thrown.
The Fibonacci guy is not the inventor of the golden ratio. The Fibonacci guy is the discoverer of the golden ratio. Let me just throw this in. As a composer, musician, I'm not really the owner of the composition. I'm the discoverer of it. Every song that can ever exist is already out there. Okay, you're the only one that channels it. You discover it, and then it becomes yours, and it is yours in a way, but it's really not yours. It is the ethers, or whatever you want to call it, the creators. So that Fibonacci guy, he just discovered it. He did not create the golden ratio. He discovered that it seems like this is what it's in nature. Huh?
Okay, so since you've made a lot of bold claims, and I have something that is
bold claims.
bold claims you have made, or the phrase would be bold ass assertions.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I have a much simpler explanation for you. Very
great.
Simple.
Great.
Human beings are pattern-seeking animals. What by that I mean is we like to see patterns that either we see in nature or that we will create. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Huh?
Or the golden ratio would be one such pattern that we see in nature. And for whatever reason, we like to attribute a special meaning to that. I don't know why we want to do that. I mean, like, from what I know, when it appears in human biology in proportions, that's how beautiful people look. The more closer they are to the golden ratio, the more attractive they are. But as to why it has to be that way, I have no idea. Why the ratio of 1.618 until the last number, if there is one, why it has to be that, I can't tell you. I don't think anyone can tell you.
Yeah, but if you did not believe in a God, you would think. Yes.
What about that?
If you don't believe in a God, then you would. If the golden ratio then was random, then you could say, see, there is no God. This shit is random.
I never said it was random.
Huh?
I never said it was random. I never said it was specifically random, but I'm not saying that it was specifically created. I'm not saying that there's someone twisting the knobs and the dials to make it 1.618 to make it that particular ratio.
But isn't that the difference, though? Isn't that the difference, though? If there is no God, then reality is just a random thing.
No, it's not random. Definitely not.
Well, if it's not random, then who made it non-random then?
Vince, see, that is a black and white fallacy. You're assuming that if it's not random, then it has to be a deity that has created it that way.
Yes.
Well, that's the black and white fallacy.
Well, we're living in a black and white world in its core. It's a two dualistic reality. Never forget that.
You're forgetting that there's also the gray. There's a large gray area, or there's a third possibility.
What?
That there are the physical constants in the world, and they have a particular value. If you look up any science textbooks, you will find that there are a variety of physical constants.
The gray area
you're talking about. Why they're that way, I don't think we've been able to adequately explain. But the way things operate and the way things work on a basic physical level, you would be better off asking a physicist this. But they will tell you what's going to happen.
Okay, wait. There is this top scientist called Jim Gates. Okay? Jim Gates. And this guy says they found computer codes in the fabric of our reality, just like the Matrix or just like a video game. And those things are zeros and ones. You can convert zeros and one to on and off, or a beginning or an end, good or evil, dualistic. In this core, no way.
I'm okay.
In this core of this reality, to the core of it, it seems to be a dualistic thing. And of course, there is a gray area, but that's temporary. It's what we're experiencing in life. Like we get born and then we get into the gray area. You can call that life, but eventually it ends, and that is when the off switch goes. This is a dualistic reality. Even 3D is derived from 2D. I can quickly explain that quickly. When you play a 3D video game, for example, you're playing it on a flat surface. It's all just pixels, ones and zeros, but it gives you an illusion that it's 3D. And I believe the same goes for our reality. It looks like 3D, but really it's a 2D thing giving the impression of 3D. Anyways, we can go on to anything else.
I'm slightly stunned by that because what? What is when I say three-dimensional? What do you think I mean?
Three-dimensional is an illusion. Everything derives from two
Not an
dimensions.
illusion. No, on a 2D surface in your computer, that is an optical illusion that they're using.
Yes.
But
there's no but.
There is a huge. Well, I have one, and it's pretty huge.
Okay, give me that huge but. Give me that huge but right now.
Look at your hand. And just hold up your hand to your face.
Yes.
You see that there is a length to it, there's a depth, and there's a height to it.
Yes. You know why?
Great. How many dimensions is that?
You need the two eyes. You know, if you close one eye and look at your hand, and then you open the other eye, your hand will move. The two eyes gives you that depth. The same thing works in the VR headset. They have these two lenses that has the image slightly, you know, what do you say? Slightly, you know what I mean.
Vincent, I'll just interrupt for a second. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying with the
Okay.
just for the point of the question he's asking. Are we actually disagreeing that things have a length, a height, and a depth, or are we agreeing with that?
Of course, we're living in what seems to be a 3D reality, of course. But I'm saying it's an illusion at the core of it, because it's all 2D. It's 2D giving the illusion of 3D, or even 4D, 5D, whatever you want. How many Ds you want to put on it?
Can I ask a question, and then I'll shut up. I will shut up after this.
No, you don't have to shut up. No,
just to clarify this, and I don't want to take Dave's time, but just to clarify something. So when you're saying it's illusion, are you happy though to admit that you can jump up and down, you can walk forwards and backwards, and you can walk left to right?
Yes.
So you can maneuver in 3 dimensions. Yeah, I think that's what Dave's getting at. I'll pass it back to Dave.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Well, that is what I'm getting at, but also, wow. That is just wow.
No, let me just say. Okay, sorry. Yes.
Look, every debate you've done, it has been something new and mind-boggling. And I mean that anyone who gets that reference, congratulations to you, but that's definitely mind-boggling. That we're living in a 2D world that's, however Vince wanted to phrase it, that is just a... Vince, please, I don't know how long we've been going on for, but by all means, I would love to have some proof positive from your side for any of these assertions. So I've been trying to get out for, I think, maybe an hour, a bit over an hour.
Okay. What did you want from me? What did you say? It's hard. It's hard to hear sometimes because it's very echoing from where you're at. You need to get a mic, Dave. You need to get a mic because otherwise you get the room ambience in.
I'm wondering if you're getting this. Is this better? Can you hear me?
Maybe slightly better. Slightly. Yes.
Yes.
What did you say? What did you want from me? What did you say?
Well, actually, this is a good point to stop because I think we're going to go to the questions now, and this could be the first question, and then we'll go to the questions in the chat. So, is that a good thing?
Is the sound?
Oh, what was that?
Sound better now?
Oh, yeah, it's more treble now. Well, it's clearer, but it's fucking distorting.
See, that doesn't help. You see, this is where I would have to admit that I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's okay. No, that's fine. That's fine for now. For the time we've got left, I think it's a bit less echoey. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better, but loud.
Yeah. I wouldn't use it to present the Golden Globes or anything. You're doing all right. Doing all right. It's looking good. Well, what do you think, Creaky? Question time. We've got quite a few racked up.
If I turn my mic on, I'm happy to go to questions.
If we can. Sorry, Creaky, you go.
I'm just extremely confused.
I think I am also, but I think the first question that Dave
Mission
just asked, we'll make this the very first question. We'll make it very specific because I know Dave's tried to ask us a few times. So this is for you, Vincent.
Yes.
We try and be concise with the questions, so a minute maximum.
Okay, I'll try. Yes.
And I think what Dave's trying to ask is, have you any actual proof that God has created, the world, the universe? Was it the world, the universe, Dave? What was it? Or anything? Dave, what was it that you wanted the proof of? Proof that God has...
Any proof positive that there exists a God or a deity. I mean, if Vince, are you happy to say that you don't know that it's by faith for you?
By what?
Faith.
By faith. You take it on faith that you don't have actual proof or evidence?
Not fully faith, but there is faith in it. There is faith in it because I'm not 100%, because it's stupid to be 100%. I'm gonna tell you that. if you're 100% on important stuff, you leave. I'm
not talking about 100%. I'm talking about any evidence, anything that you can connect the dots to. Therefore, there exists a God.
I think I have more than the atheist has, but I can never have 100% concrete evidence. But I believe I have more reasons for that says that there is a God than not.
Then, for the sake of the conciseness of the questions, because we are kind of running out of time. We want to fit all the questions in.
Golden ratio. There needs to be a programmer for a complex reality. I know many people says no, it's random. No, there needs to be a programmer for this, and that is God. The golden ratio and that, and what else? What was it? Yeah, that you can't even experience being unconscious when you die. Like you can't even experience losing your consciousness because you need to be conscious to do that. There's a lot of indications for me that says therefore there is a God.
In a nutshell, it's faith, absolutely. The complexity of the golden ratio seems to use some sort of design, and you don't know when you're dead. Would be the
you will never you can't be aware that you disappeared into nothingness. It's impossible. It's really impossible.
Have you got a question you want to pose to Dave for him to answer very concisely, and then we'll get to the super chat ones and the ones in the chat.
Dave, let's say there was something that could convince you to believe in God. Would you be in favor of believing in a God if you saw evidence enough, or don't you want to believe in God regardless, or would you believe in a God if there was something that could convince you? Would you like that? Would you like that? Would you like to believe in a God?
My likes have nothing to do with my beliefs, my stances, or on anything, because there are many unpleasant truths that I think we all have to face. When it comes to believing in a God, if there were sufficient enough evidence to show that a God exists, I would believe. And so far, I have yet to receive adequate evidence for that proposition.
Yes, okay, but if I could ask you then, what would it take then? Let's say if you could have that sufficient evidence, what would that be like? What would that evidence be looking like?
I'll have to paraphrase Matt Delahanty. I don't know, but that God that exists, if he does, it would know what would convince me, and it is up to that God to convince me.
But wouldn't you be like under hypnosis then? Like, wouldn't you be able to know what you would need to believe in a God? Like, this is what I would need to, because otherwise
I have no idea what it would take to convince me.
Then you're closing the door.
Vince, hang on, Vince. Here's the thing. If I see something that is miraculous, I'm gonna have to ask myself, am I hallucinating? How much can I trust myself that this is actually happening? It may be that something miraculous might convince me, but that in no way or shape or form should count as evidence for you, for Baldy, for Creaky, or for anyone else. It would be my own personal revelation that I would have experienced, and that cannot and should not serve as evidence for someone else.
I agree with that.
My personal testimony means nothing.
I can agree with that. Like, this is all up to us ourselves. It's our own thing. Okay, yes, yes. Guys, you can go on. I don't know. You can go on. Yes.
Catz, turn your mic on. You're doing a creaky trick.
Do you want to ask the super chat questions?
Yeah, a lot of the super. We'll just run through the super chats quickly because, in fairness, not many of them are questions. They're mainly insults. So
yes, let's have them.
Yeah. Sorry, Vincent. £5 from Theo Fungi. Just wanted to say the music analogy was brilliant. Another £5 from Theo. So much hot air he could float Mr. Sensible's Madge balloon.
What the hell does that mean?
You'd have to watch Mr. Sensible's videos to understand it.
Okay.
Where's the evidence? Show me the evidence. Glober Chris, 50 sec. Oh, sexy money, my favourite. Can you guys please try to keep music analyst on one topic and not to jump to the next without answering what he claims? I think we covered that a little bit earlier. Sorry I didn't get to it sooner, Global Chris. Brian Shannon, good evening, sir. How are you? $5 US. The ratio was not created, it was discovered. It's only weird because we have 10 figures and use the decimal system.
Okay.
Any response to that?
I don't know if I understand the question.
The ratio was not created, it was discovered. We only find it weird because we ourselves have 10 fingers and use the decimal system.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I said the same, right? In a different way. That it's discovered, right? If I understood it. The golden ratio is discovered and not created, right?
Yeah, right. The next question from Anne the George said, and $2 US, and this isn't hurtful at all. Super chatting because I love cats and nothing else. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. And was that nothing else or no one else?
Yeah, no. If it had said no one else, there'd have been a tear running down my cheek as I read it out. So it was definitely nothing else.
Who was that from? Who's that
from?
My new
And the George
subscriber.
said.
My new favourite subscriber.
He's redeemed himself, everyone. Another $2 super chatting again because I also love Creaky.
Oh, brilliant.
Clearly a man with good taste. £2 from Jim Broughton.
No.
Jim from Jim, because I get told off for saying his name wrong all the time. Which god are we talking about? I'm almost afraid to ask if Vincent wants to try and answer that.
Which god?
Yeah.
There is only one god. You can never say gods, by the way. You can never say gods because that takes away from the meaning of the word God. God is the almightiest. There is only one room for that, one place and one entity. So you can never say gods, gods. Like,
Vince?
huh?
You're a Christian, right?
No, listen. I went from atheism to believing in a god, and now I'm on my road to looking at Christianity because while I was an atheist, I thought it was bollocks, as you guys say in
Okay.
bollocks.
So
bollocks.
if anyone
Bollocks.
was one according to my surname, I'm Jewish. But if you read the Torah, the first 5 books of Moses, it talks about there being other gods.
Yeah, but that's I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because it doesn't make sense. There can only be one. You know, as Freddie Mercury, there can be only one. You know, that applies to God. There can only be one. I thought you were
pro Michael Jackson.
I'm pro both. Listen, these are the legends of music in the 19th century. Straight up, we won't have any of these. Straight up, huh?
Sting.
I see your sandwich nicely.
Man. Sting, you can compare Sting to Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson. Come on, man.
I just like to say that Vince was sandwiched between them very nicely.
I would sandwich them. I'm not even gay, but I would sandwich.
Oh dear.
Okay, moving on.
$4.99 from Pete Bramble. Just wanted to thank the channel and the debaters, and that's all the super chats that have come in so far. So dare we move on to the questions, Katz?
Right. So I'll ask the questions. Let's have a look. Global Chris, it's not really a question, but he says, whereabouts with your first sentence, he thinks you let yourself down. Failing to understand is not an argument. Whereabouts in Sweden are you? Because he wants to have a beer with you so he can talk it over with you.
Oh, really? Close to Stockholm.
He's nice, is Global Chris. And so that's not a threat. He's not trying to hunt you down.
Yes, where are you? I want to have a beer with you. Yes.
But I do actually have a question from, and then I'll pass it over to Creaky for the next one. This is from Glenn Pearson. It's a question for Dave. playing the devil's advocate, ask Dave if he loves his mother, and if so, ask him to prove it. So this is talking about the need for proof. When you mention a need for proof.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
They want me to prove that I love my mother. It's bold of them to assume that I love my mother.
Yeah, we assume, but we don't
You
really
assume
know.
that I love my mother.
I don't know.
Difficult one.
Well,
give
put
me
it
proof.
this way.
Give me undeniable proof that is true.
That I love my mother. Well,
Yeah,
here's
show
the
it
thing.
to me. Yes.
I'm in Israel, she's in South Africa. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's bad. I don't know.
No, okay, but look, it was someone asked the question. I'll try to answer it a bit more seriously. When it comes to if you should trust a person's actions and not what their words are. I can't and I won't show you the interactions I have had with my mother on a WhatsApp call or WhatsApp conversations because those are private and personal. But the way I treat her, the way I interact with her, I think would be a fair and safe and reasonable assumption to say that I love and care for my mother. What I have said to other people, though, in this regard, this goes to my sisters as well, that if we were not family, I don't know how I would interact with them. I don't know what my relationship would be with them. But it's because they are family and I do feel some sort of kinship with them that I guess, for lack of a better term, yeah, I love them and I care about them deeply.
I agree with the action thing. Absolutely. Action, not words. You can say, I love you how many times you want. You need to show that you love somebody or care for them. Yes. Huh?
Creaky, do you want to take the next
I'll take
question?
the next one. The next question is for Vincent again. Shock. And it's from Glober Mum. And she's calling you out, Vincent. So,
all right.
At the beginning of the live stream, why did you lie and claim that the video with the devilish ceremony was for CERN when it was actually a ceremony for the opening of the world's longest tunnel? Isn't lying a sin?
Well, I did not lie. I said, didn't I say it was the tunnel thing? Didn't I say that this was a tunnel ceremony that is connected to CERN? Because it is connected to CERN. Okay? This shit is connected to CERN. It's not CERN, like where the CERN Hadron Collider thing is, but it is the ceremony for the tunnels that leads to CERN. So I did not lie. And I agree, lie is going the way of the negative force. The more you lie, the more negative you become. The more you stick to being truthful, the more positive you're going.
I think we know that lie leads to hate, and hate leads to fear, or whatever,
Yes.
and that all leads to the dark side. So
Yes, yes, that is the dark force.
I think I got that right. I heard that from a very wise.
I knew where that was going.
I got it wrong. I got the quote wrong.
It doesn't matter.
I
It was
want to
still
just say
funny.
it again so I can get the quote right. Next question. We've got another super chat just come in from JL Warren. And this is to you, Vincent. He says, right, you were an atheist. So what demonstrable evidence that you could test and repeat convinced you of the existence of God?
I think I answered that. My reasons: the golden ratio and this reality appearing to be like a super advanced virtual reality, which has to have a programmer, and also the consciousness thing that you can't even be aware that you disappeared for your one and only life that atheist claims. Like, this is the only life I have.
So,
okay.
So was it a case that you were walking around one day as an atheist, and then you learnt about the golden ratio and thought, now I'm not an atheist? Or were you on the verge of, like, something else made you, pushed you on that way, and then the golden thing?
I don't remember exactly how it played out, but there was a bunch of different things. And also seeing what the fuck is happening to our society is becoming demonic. Even though I didn't believe in God or devil at that time, I was seeing that the elites seemed to be worshipping some kind of devilish force. And I'm like, okay, why are they doing that? Is there something to it? I don't know. There's a bunch of things that led me this way, and I'm really glad for it. I'm really glad for it, because you will become much happier if you believe in a good God. You will become maybe, I'm not saying everybody will become that, but you have the potential to become really dark if you do not believe in a God.
So if we're saying that the elite worship the devil, and it's universally, well, I wouldn't say it's universally agreed, but I certainly think that the devil is a concept created by religion across the board to control religious people through fear. Wouldn't that make the elite religious people? Because if they weren't, then there'd be no devil for them to worship or believe in. So they are Christians, the same as you. Then.
No, they're not Christians. They believe in the devil. They don't believe in the good God. So they believe in religion, but they believe in the devil. They don't believe in the Christian
So they just believe
God.
in religion in a different way to you, which makes them wrong and you right. And when I say you, I don't mean you individually. I mean the Christian faith is right and everyone else is wrong. Is that kind of where we are, or not?
I don't know. I just say this. They seem to worship some evil force, okay? And they pretend that they do not. They pretend that they do not, that this is just some nonsensical thing they're doing. They don't really believe in it. But they are doing some weird shit. They are doing some weird shit behind closed door with robes and fucking things. They are doing some crazy shit, and that is evident. We can see it pretty much everywhere. Even in the US, they put in a statue of the fucking Baphomet in some courthouse or something. I don't remember exactly where it was. They fucking put in a fucking Baphomet in the courthouse. Why the fuck would they do that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I'm a question.
Yeah, that and that's exactly what I'm doing. Like I'm not sort of attacking you. I know I said you, but if I say you, I mean Christianity as a whole.
Yes.
Because the way I understood it is that the devil is only there because Christianity says so.
Yes, and let me tell you, Creaky. Let me tell you quickly.
Yeah,
I believe this AI thing that they're turning us into, like towards, they're trying to create a hive mind entity AI. I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe that might be the devil coming into existence. The devil is, I don't think the devil is physical, but maybe it's trying to come alive through the AI. Because that shit, look at what Elon Musk is doing. Elon Musk is having a thing, Neuralink, check it out. It's available this year, I believe. A brain chip, and they're trying to chip your fucking brain. And what is that? Maybe they're trying to capture your consciousness or whatever. I don't know. I'm just saying. Okay, continue. Yes.
Katz, do you want to take the next question?
Yes.
I certainly do. We've got one from... I got it up here as well.
Pete Bremble was next, Katz.
Yeah. I've lost my... Yeah, there we go. So one question that came up was about evolution affecting the race of people due to their location. I think that was a point that you made, wasn't it, Dave? If God created man, and it's another question for you, Vincent, I'm afraid. Sorry, Dave. If God created man in his image, then what race is God?
Okay, yes. I don't believe that when they say God created man in his image, I don't believe that means that God looks like a human. I just believe what I said before, that we got that creative side of us. That is the image of God. I don't think it's literally meaning that God looks like a human. I think it's talking about that creative force that we got, and which is really a really good feature that we have, because I don't think the animals have it. You know what I'm saying? We got this creative side to us, and it is godly. Creative creator. I don't know if that's answering that. I don't know.
What do you think about that, Dave? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I do, because Vincent's actually very close to what Judaism teaches about that particular sentence where Adam was created in the image of God. It had nothing to do with the physical appearance of God. It had to do with the mental aspects of it. It wasn't physical.
Cool. Creaky, next one.
The next one's from Glenn Pearson. Also a question for Vincent. Sorry, Vincent. The Bible reveals that all humans are fallible. If we accept this, then explain this. Modern-day holy texts, like the Bible, were written by hundreds of fallible humans and interpreted and translated over thousands of years by hundreds of other fallible humans. Today, as a human, you are interpreting these holy texts. Isn't it reasonable to assume that with all this fallibility, that any interpretation of a modern-day version of holy text contains, sorry, I didn't see the read more, fallacies? How do we discern truths from the things that were lost in translation?
Yeah, listen, I agree with that. And again, for the record, I'm not Christian. I'm first and foremost, right now, I believe in a God. And I'm going to look up the Bible because I have to see what is true and what is not, because I agree with that. Like, if they make new versions or translation and this and that throughout the years, then that kind of opens up for some shenanigans or some some misinformation or whatever. So I need to go and read that and see what makes sense to me, and looking around the world today and what it says and what makes sense and what does not make sense, because I do not rule out that maybe even the devil can have some tampering going on. I'm not saying the devil is tampering with the Bible, but I'm not ruling anything out, because that would be foolish. That would be foolish, because the devil is a master deceiver. Yes.
Well, hang on. I don't want to let that one go. Vince, yes. Are you saying that the devil is more powerful, can defeat God, or can upset the plans of God?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that maybe.
Dangerously close.
Huh?
I said you were dangerously close.
Yes, but I'm saying it more like this. Maybe God has created the Bible, right, in the beginning, in whatever way it was created. But maybe God also made it possible for the devil to do some tampering with it, because in the end, this is supposed to be a test. We have to, what do you say, discern what may be true and what may be a deceivement. You know what I'm saying? This is a test. This is a test. I believe it's a test. You have to figure it out yourself.
Since you have made so many claims about what you think, I would love to actually hear some actual evidence, something concrete at some point, maybe at a different stream, maybe somewhere else, but wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course we can. So, listen, at the end of the day, though, like I said many times before, actual concrete evidence, I don't think it will be possible. At the end of the day, it's about you and your journey individually. All of us individually. You have to decide what makes sense and not, and then go with that. You can't be a middleman, because eventually, yeah. Huh?
No, I'm not a middleman, but so while we're on our journey in life trying to figure out what is true, do you think that we should accept help from people who are more knowledgeable than us?
If we should accept
help from people who are more knowledgeable than us,
yeah, we should.
Certain subjects.
Yeah, we should listen to it, but that doesn't mean that you automatically have to take in everything they say.
No, of course not. But I mean, if someone who's studied music or someone who's how to compose a score, I mean, I would listen to you before I would. Well, actually, I see Baldy's got some guitars there, so.
Yes. Hey, are you two guys musicians, by the way? Like, Creaky looked like he was a punk rocker. Creaky, I don't know if you were a punk rocker, but you look like a punk rocker.
I don't have enough hair to be a punk rocker, Vincent.
Maybe you had once in the day.
I can vaguely remember, yes. But no, I was never a punk rocker.
Baldy?
Not a punk rocker, mate. No. Play a little bit, but no, not a punk rocker.
Vince, I mean, if you were going to debate someone about the age of the Earth, I mean, you would look at ice cores and ice ages, wouldn't you? You're trying to be prepared for debates, wouldn't you?
Listen, I'm not a debater. I'm a discusser. There's a difference. You know, I think everybody can see now I'm not a debater. I'm a discusser. I just discuss stuff. Okay? I just discuss and I question in real time. I don't prepare that much. I'm mostly right-brained. I go on my right-brained mind. I'm going in real time. So you can't expect a debater from me. I'm not a debater. I'm a discusser.
Which is why I saw what you were saying when you had that live stream a few days ago. So I wanted to try and have a discussion with you, but as part of the discussion, especially on such an issue as is there evidence for God, we have to be prepared to state our case with some evidence, something a bit more. I don't know if you don't like the word concrete.
But you can't give me concrete. Yeah, but you can't give me concrete evidence for that the Big Bang happened either. You can just say, "Hey, the scientist says the Big Bang happened 13.8 billion years ago."
Hang on.
Huh?
Vince, hang on. Have you read the literature?
The what?
Have you read the scientific literature on the Big Bang theory, on the cosmic microwave background radiation, about the Hubble constant? Have you read any of that?
No, I've just read a basic explanation of the Big Bang.
So, do yourself a favor and read actual scientific articles about that.
Okay.
And that's where you learn things. I mean, if you look at...
But how do you know that's 100% true, though? How do you know that, though?
Because of what goes on in the scientific method.
Yeah, but are you there? Are you there?
I mean,
are you inside of that circle where they're doing that shit?
Currently, yes.
Oh, you are?
And I'm not saying I'm not reviewing the actual thing, but if you look at the Technion in Israel, it's got a pretty decent academic background and record, and I'm aware of how they go. I'm aware of the process involves. That someone will submit a paper for reviews. The people who have been studying a particular phenomenon, they will submit their paper for review, and the other scientists, they will look at it, and they are not nice people. One thing that I have learned, that scientists are not nice people.
That's not good.
The thing is, they love to prove someone else wrong. They love to destroy someone else's life work. That's what gets them up in the morning, to prove someone else wrong and to show that they are right.
Yeah.
So eventually, if the paper can pass peer review and the observations can be replicated, and if the findings can be replicated, then it will make it into a scientific journal. What's often used is the case of Piltdown Man. That was a fossil that was found, I think, somewhere in the UK region. But what had happened was someone was very dishonest and very disingenuous with their findings. They had taken a few different parts of the skull and presented this as though they had found a transitional species. Do you know how we figured out that that was a hoax and false and fake?
How?
Other people trying to replicate, other people testing that.
Okay, I can see that.
That's how the method works. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying they get it right every single time. But it is far more accurate than almost any other discipline that I've seen out there.
Yeah, but
that they have to go.
Okay. Yes, yeah. I agree with that. But just because that thing got proven in that way doesn't mean that everything has to be working that way. Like, just because you could see that they were right on that thing doesn't mean that you have to accept that they're right about the Big Bang.
Which is a fair enough point. Just because someone has been right on so many different topics, so many different points, doesn't mean that on the 100th point they will also be right, which is why it doesn't matter if the person's a no prize laureate. They've won 2 or 3. I don't think there's been a triple winner.
And also, I have to add this.
Hang on, Vince. Everything is tested. It doesn't mean that they submit a paper and that it is automatically accepted.
Okay, yes.
Someone can disprove, if someone can show that the work of a Nobel Prize winner is incorrect, that will be the best day of their life. Not when their kids are born, not when they get married.
Definitely not when they get married.
But when they prove the Nobel Prize winner wrong and that his work was shoddy, that will be the best day in their life.
But guys, I'm just gonna go because we haven't got a lot more questions. But I think the point you make is science keeps itself in check, doesn't it? It keeps itself in check. They don't back each other up. They do try and prove each other wrong, which I think is, the flat earthers could do with remembering that.
Hey, that topic. Okay. Yes.
Oh, we'll do that another time. Sure. Creaky, we've got a bit of a song going on in the chat, super chat song. Have you seen that?
I thought that's what it was, but I wasn't completely certain.
So it starts with, oh my God, Mr. Few here. I don't know. We're gonna have to. Creaky, can you find out where we've missed from? Because I've missed a few.
We've missed quite a lot. Well, no, I don't think we've missed them. I think they've come in since we've moved away. The last one was just wanted to thank the channel and the debaters, wasn't it?
Yes.
So then JL Warren asks, you were an atheist, Vincent.
Yes.
What demonstrate... no, I asked you that one. Sorry. My bad. Vincent, so, argument from...
Oh, no, JL Warren did another one after that.
Oh, did he? Evidence to express... right, sorry. Evidence to express behaviour, the presence of bonding chemicals, testable and empirical. Right, that ties into what he asked before, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Or not?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that, Gerald Warren. So evidence to express behavior. So I forgot what point that was on now.
I know, I've forgotten as well.
Sorry.
That's all right. Everyone watching knows how professional we are. So, Vincent.
Yes.
The laughing policeman. An argument from incredulity, argument from complexity, argument from ignorance, confirmation bias, happiness through suspension of critical what? Faculties. Jesus, these glasses need changing. Gotcha. So that's more of a statement than a question.
Okay.
Do you want to take the next super chat?
Okay. That was Jerry Warren. So again, thank you for that very much. Jim, this is where the song starts. Jim Broughton says, what if God was one of us? What do you think the next line is going to be there, Dave or Vincent? Which one of you is going to get it right? What was the reply to that?
Just a slub like one of us.
And it will come, but not until Jim Vazella has said, if there was any evidence of gods, we would have no reason to believe because there will be evidence, which I think is a good point. If there was evidence, wouldn't need faith. But you're right, J.R. Warren does pop straight back in with just a slob like one of us. Creaky?
Another super chat from JL Warren 199. Thank you, pal. This isn't part of the song. Surely that would make the god a complete asshole.
Hang on, that's how it goes, isn't it? What if God was one of us, just a slob like one of us? That will make him a complete asshole.
That must be the remix.
That's the remix.
But let me add. God is neutral. Let me just add that. Okay.
Yes.
Tim says €5, by the way. Thank you, Tim. If you're not a Christian, why would it not be Loki? And that ceremony had nothing to do with CERN. The devil person was Ibex.
Oh, an
native
Ibex.
to Swiss Alps.
What? The devil person was Ibex?
Was an Ibex.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's the mountain goat. They're the ones that can climb up near vertical cliff faces. They're amazing. They're like Spider-Man, but a goat version.
They're like the ninjas of the goat world.
Yeah, I don't know. That ritual is connected to CERN. That tunnel thing is connected to CERN. I don't know the exact details. I know it's connected to CERN, and it's some devilish shit going on. That's all I'm seeing.
Well, I think the point is that it was some kind of opening ceremony, and the Ibex, if they're the Swiss mountain goat, might be like a national kind of symbol, maybe, so it was like an opening ceremony using famous animals from that country.
It's like if it was in Wales, it would have been dancing sheep, wouldn't it? Obviously. I'll beat everyone in the side chat to it. Pete Bremble for £4.99. Thank you, kind sir. Dolphins are created based on how they hunt, based on location. So other animals are creative, not just humans. Did you follow that, or did I read it really badly?
I mean, they might have some creativity, but we have a whole nother level to creativity, I would say. Humans.
All of us?
Not all of us. Some are, like stone. They're like
so God only likes some of us then.
I just think that maybe some have closed their closed that ability. Right. Listen, it's a practice thing. You need to practice it to open it up more. You need to practice creativity to become more creative.
If you can't sing, you can't sing.
Well, I don't know. Oh, well, it depends. Listen, I would say singing is just syncing your voice to the background music or whatever you're hearing. And then if you can do that, then I would say you can sing. But then after that, it depends on how much you train and how and in the sound of your voice and if somebody prefers it or not. But I would just say the basics of singing is just syncing your voice to the music. Sing. Oh. If you can't, you're tone deaf or something. No.
Next, I'm just trying to find a question that will go for both of you. Most of these questions do seem to be coming your way, Vincent.
Morgan Wyatt has a question for both of them.
Oh, in what way does a belief in God contradict science or vice versa? Are they not two completely different things? That's to both of you. Start with you, Dave.
Belief in God doesn't necessarily contradict science. It's just an unnecessary assumption that's been placed on there. In general, it's very difficult to disprove a deity or a god, but there are some gods that have been proposed that we can say definitely don't exist. For example, the Abrahamic God, that's the best way to put it. The Abrahamic God can be disproven because the way the opening verses of the Bible open up and the way they describe creation of the universe, we know that to be wrong. Everything in science tells us that is factually incorrect. But as a God in general, it's an unnecessary assumption.
What do you think, Vincent?
Okay, I think true science and God would be linked together, because I would say true science would say like all of this shit leads to that there is a God. Like all of the things that we're finding out, it leads to some intelligent super being. That was
okay. I'd love to think they'd phrase it like that, the latest scientific paper.
No.
What does our shit prove this week?
It will prove God, a bad side of God. Yes.
If you're talking about design, the common thing that's used to go against that would be you have a playground next to a waste facility. So I think that is proof positive that there is no God.
I'm not saying everything from God have to be beautiful. I mean, there are bad shit and there are good shit. Talking about shit, there are good shit and there is bad shit, but it's all coming from God, the good and the bad.
Right. Just depending on what is eaten the night before. Is that?
Yeah.
Yes. You can have worse shit and you can have a little better shit, right? Yes.
Oh, I'm sure we all know that. There's a super chat that is going to be. This makes me so happy because if anybody watches my videos, and I know you don't, Vincent, but if anyone does, you know that. I mispronounce everything, right? I don't pronounce. I'm always getting picked up for my pronunciations of, of any words. Okay.
It's that stupid accent you've got, Catz. That's the problem.
But Jim Broughton has said I have pronounced it right, and I can only assume he's talking about the ibex goat. And it says it must need an accent. So thank you, Jim, for pointing out that I've pronounced something right. So maybe I'm gonna run now.
Yeah, both of you have a little bit of different English accent. Like,
whoa! There's no English accent here, and I don't know what you were laughing at with that stupid accent. I am Welsh, not English.
I don't know.
Hey, listen, Vincent. Don't forget who's got his finger on the button.
Yes,
I can end this any second I choose.
No!
Yeah,
No!
I've banned people for less than that, Vincent. Behave yourself.
I'm just saying. I'm hearing two different accents. What am I supposed to do? And
that stands to reason because Catz has got an accent and so has David. So you would be hearing two.
All of us have a different accent. Don't be silly. All of us have a different accent, yes.
Anyway, back to the question. Yes. Is it my turn or your turn, Catz? I'm lost.
Oh, I think it's you, mate.
Right. Right. So from is that Arto Jesus, I really need my eyes tested. Could Vincent tell us anything about how the humidity levels of the inside of air relate to experiences of Vishnu?
Are the humidity levels of the air? How it...
I have no clue what that question means, and I don't mind saying, so I'm hoping Vincent followed it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know what that got to do with Shiva. But maybe you should ask the people at CERN or the WHO, the World Health Organization, because they both have something in common, and that's the Shiva statue. You better ask them.
He's Vishnu is a different deity, isn't it? It's not Shiva.
There is the creator, the observer, and the destroyer. Shiva is the destroyer. I don't know which one that was.
Vishnu.
Yeah, I don't know which of the other two gods that was. Maybe the observer or the creator. I don't know.
That's fine. I don't think any of us understood that question. Can I ask the next one, Kat?
Yeah, you go
because
for it,
it's my favourite side chatter's name. A question from Craving More Dick. The question is, can either participant confirm whether or not Jess is in fact craving more dick?
Jizz?
Not jizz. No.
No, not jizz. Jess.
No.
Jess.
Can we?
Jess.
You get us struck off. We got
the closest we've ever come to jizz on this live stream is when somebody came on and screamed penis into his camera, but we've never had any jizz.
Okay, well, what did you say? Jazz?
Jess.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Jess.
G-A, what did you say? G-A?
Jess.
Jess is a person.
Jess.
I think.
It's a person.
Jesse. Like a Jesse.
Yeah. Without the E.
Okay, I don't know. I don't even know what. I don't know.
No. I do. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to ask it for my own amusement. Katz, back to you.
Okay. I think we're pretty much there now. There is. Remember old-fashioned trousers says, and again, I think this one's to you, Vincent, but how do you know what God knows, wants, or any other quality from the golden ratio being your evidence? So given that the golden ratio is your evidence, how do you know, how can you extrapolate from that what God wants?
I don't know what God wants. I'm just saying that is a proof that there is an intelligent thought that decided it should be that way and not random. I don't know what God wants. Only God knows what God wants. I have no idea what God wants.
Okay.
I can only guess. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, I think, are we exhausted the questions there?
Well, I'm exhausted. I'm not sure about the questions.
Well, I think, Dave, you've not had much to do in the questions, though. I'm going to give you a bit of a closing statement, if you like, just to sum up how you think tonight is going, because you've probably not as been involved in the questions as well. So just to equalise the time up, just let us know how you think tonight has gone and summarise it for us.
Look, I've enjoyed tonight immensely. I think it's been fun. I think it's been a good debate. I think it's been spirited. I think we've both been respectful of each other.
Absolutely.
And of the channel. I would have loved to have heard any solid, sturdy. I guess Vince doesn't like the word concrete. I'd love to have heard some concrete evidence from Vince's side on how he connects the golden ratio or anything else to there being a God. Other than that, I like that, and I'm just very, very happy about South Africa beating England twice in the World Cup final.
Yeah, I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to pretend you didn't say that. Broke my heart the second time, especially. Oh man, I don't know. Just deflated me completely there now with that one. But no, I think you both have been really. You've taken the spirit of the show. You've had a good debate, but you've not been all over each other. You've been respectful, and I really, really appreciate that. I'd echo your sentiments that I think we're not going to get concrete evidence. But then, Vincent, you said that a lot of it is on faith. And you that's something you've accepted, isn't it? A lot of it is on faith, and everyone's on their own journey. So it's not as if you're claiming to have concrete evidence but not telling us. Yeah.
If I had, trust me, if I had, I would have thrown it out instantly. Instantly, I would have thrown it out.
Well, I appreciate both of you for doing this. Thank you very much. I'm going to pass you to the main man himself, which is the Mr. Creaky Blinder.
Yeah, I forgot we were still live then. Is it too late in the stream to tell Vincent that we don't swear when we're live, by the way?
Oh, shit.
Mate, I'm teasing you. We've had a last minute super chat come in from JL Warren. Is it logically inconsistent for the omni god, as you defined it, to want anything? Sorry, Dave, but I'm guessing that's aimed at Vincent again.
Can I say that again? The
of course I can.
God,
is it logically inconsistent for the omni god, as you define it, to want for anything?
I don't know if it's logically consistent, because I don't even know if you can apply anything logical to God.
That's the first thing you've said all night that I agree with. And on that note, we will call it done. Thank you to David. Thank you very much indeed to Vincent, the music analyst, whose channel I will most definitely be checking out.
Hey, I want to talk music with you guys. I want to know what you guys think about music. We could have a fiery debate or discussion about that.
I love music, Vincent, and I would love to have a discussion about music.
Absolutely, that would be fun.
No problem at all.
Huh?
Thank you very much to everybody for super chatting. Thank you to everybody who stuck around all the way through. If for some bizarre reason you've never been here before, I don't know how you've made it this far, but just in case, hit the subscribe button, share the channel, tell everyone you know, and bye. Thanks very much for watching.
Auf Wiedersehen.